I'm hitting the go live button.
Yeah.
Yes, it started.
Okay, so it's starting. So now everybody, I've got to just do the little Facebook jiggles and get across all the pages. Hold on a second.
I know I'm doing this all live, but that's fine.
Yeah, we are live on the What's on an Elephant Castle Facebook page. I'm just kind of try to get us across to my page as well. So we may as well start. Hey, Jason, how are you, buddy?
I'm very well, Nick. Not too bad, thank you. How are you guys? You good?
Good.
We're good.
All good. All good. Yeah. So just as I'm linking everything up right now, Jason, thank you so much for joining us. You're actually, I met you a month ago. You're my PT, getting me back into shape. Melissa is over in Toronto, and it's just amazing that we can talk with you because, you know, I think just at this particular time, people who are out there wondering, coming out of all this craziness over the last few months, what can I do, you know, to help better myself and stuff. I know it was something that was really on my mind. So I'm really grateful that we met. But can you give us a little bit, just a 2 or 3 minute background about who you are and what Temple of Strength is?
Yeah, sure. As you guys know, I'm a personal trainer. I've been a personal trainer for probably now, I'll say, over 10 years. Temple of Strength is an idea that started actually even before I became a personal trainer. So my goal as a personal trainer was to always have my own studio. So that was the overriding factor. Walking into the first session, when I first walked into a gym, my goal was always to have my own personal place, where I can train people how I like to train people. So that's what Temple of Strength. So Temple of Strength is a personal training studio as well as a fitness studio. So we do one-to-one training here. We also do fitness classes. So whatever you can think of, pilates, just in those type of
It's an amazing little place, and I love it. But can you you know, like, I know we've talked a little bit about the journey that you went through from like the corporate world to where you are today. Kind of, can you give us a background of what brought you into helping people in this physical space and also spiritual space?
When I first started, I used to work in the corporate world. So I was a manager of a media monitoring company, funny enough. So I was managing a team of 6-7 people, and then I quickly realized that working in the corporate world wasn't really something for me. I didn't like the hours. 2, I didn't like the culture. I didn't fit into the culture. For me, the culture that I was working in was you take clients out for lunch, you drink on midday, you get completely hammered over the weekend, and that wasn't something that I felt kind of fitting into my lifestyle. You know, my background, my family's background, we've always been into training. My dad used to be a football player. He was a goalkeeper, so he was always into fitness. Through school, college, university, I was always into the sports team, the basketball team, whatever sports I can get my hands on is what I was doing. So when I got into the corporate world, I decided to come out of the corporate world, and I love training. You know, in the gym I used to train with my friends, and there would be a group of 5, 6 of us, and I always used to get people say, "Why don't you go into training? You're always in the gym. Why don't you go into training?" And it took a little while for me to actually think, do you know what? This is actually a step I wanted to take. But I knew that it was a step I wanted to take, but it took a while to kind of, you know, I'm pretty sure we've all been in that situation. You know, you want to do something, but the fear of actually taking that step stops you from doing it. You know, so I was in the same boat. So I decided that the best thing for me to do is to go see a life coach. I wanted to have a plan in place. So before I even qualified as a personal trainer, I sat down with a coach, and she asked me, "What is it you want to do?" So I said, "I want to be a personal trainer." She said, "Okay, what's the ultimate goal?" So the ultimate goal is to have my own business, you know. And she said to me, okay, so when do you want to have your own business by? So I said, well, ideally, I'll probably like it to have it by the time I'm 40, you know. She said, great stuff. She goes, so what do you need to do to get your own business? What are the little steps that you're going to put in place to get to where you want to be? So that was, you know, that question was probably one of the questions that made me actually sit down and think, yeah, what are the little steps do I need to put in place? What is it that I need to achieve on a day basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis? So we broke down my job as a personal trainer down to the hour. So we spoke about, she goes, so how much do you need to set up your own business? I had a rough idea in terms of monetary wise what I needed to have. And then we broke it from the total that I had in my head, working out into a yearly figure. And then from a yearly figure, we broke it out to a monthly figure. From a monthly figure, we broke it down to a weekly figure. From a weekly figure, then we broke it down to the prices I needed to charge for my clients, you know, so based on my qualifications. So, for example, I'm a level 4 personal trainer, so there's different levels. There's level 3, level 4, and then there's a life coach. So obviously, level 3, your knowledge is slightly less. Level 4, your knowledge is slightly more. And then life coach is the next stage where your knowledge is obviously more. So she said, if you're level 3, you need X amount of clients, you need to charge X amount to get the money you want. If you're level 4, you need X amount of clients to charge X amount to deliver what you want. So I took all of that on board, and that was my plan. And I literally just ran with it. And then I used the tools every week. I was measuring, you know, how did I compare to the plan I put in place? And then every year, it was great because every year what I can see is that I'm hitting my target in terms of my savings. One of the things I wanted to do is to set up my own business, but not get a loan from the bank. You know, that was the ultimate. So every year I put money aside, working into came to a stage where Temple of Strength was just a dream. And now here I am.
That's amazing. I guess, Nick, you're waiting for me to ask a question.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just like, it seems like hearing you has helped me also take like these macro ideas of what we want life to be and really start from a micro place. And I think either if we're talking about fitness or creating our own job, it seems like sometimes we can get lost so much in the big picture. And it feels like it's such a good, important balance of like big picture, dream big, but also where do you start? And it seems so amazing that you've been able to do that. So if we were to like talk about this new place we're all in and getting back into the world of gyms, I mean, gyms are still closed in Toronto, so this is still very foreign to me. But what would you like guide people or talk to people who are wanting to go back to the gym eventually, but are maybe nervous or even haven't been? I know Nick and I joke about this, but like, so Nick would not go to the gym until he was ready, like fit. So he would get fit before he could try and go to the gym. And I wouldn't go to a gym unless I had makeup on and a cute outfit, because that was all the things I was seeing, which was so nonsensical. So all of this, my question is, what advice or chat would you give to people around starting to open up to the idea of like gym world in this new kind of world we're in?
I think with one thing I've realized in this industry is that people would only do something when they're ready, right? And that's pretty much goes with everything. And I think fitness is such a fitness industry is a scary place for most people, right? Especially if you're not fit, or you used to be fit, you lost your fitness, or you've never been in the gym before. And your perception is that you walk into a place and there's all these huge muscular guys lifting ridiculous amount of weight, and then everybody's going to be staring at you because you're the newbie that's walked into the building. That is so far from the truth, okay? The advice I'll give people is that start slow, you know. You can do things at home, you know, to build up your confidence. Or you can even talk to, like, for example, for me personally, I do not train a client unless we've had a conversation for at least an hour. So I need to understand a bit about you. I need to understand your background. I need to understand what you've done before. I need to understand your level of fitness. I need to understand your goals. I need to understand your eating habits. Because what we tend to do is we use the fitness as a short-term goal. You know, I've gone to the gym for 6 weeks, I've lost weight, I feel good, therefore I stop.
Right.
For me, I don't take that approach. For me, when you come to Temple of Strength, it's more a lifestyle change. I want to entrust you with knowledge that you can use even after Jayson, after Temple of Strength. You know, you remember that I went to Temple of Strength and I trained with Jayson 4 years ago. And Jayson spoke to me about nutrition, he spoke to me about exercise, he spoke to me about technique, he spoke to me about meditation. You know, these are the things that I can actually take myself and utilize later on. You see what I mean? So that to me is the case of start slow. You know, not everything is for everybody. Some people might enjoy, you know, find what you like. You know, in the gym you might not like lifting weights. You might enjoy boxing, for example. You know, so do some boxing. You might not enjoy boxing. You might want to do some skipping, or you might enjoy fitness, like group classes. I suggest you find what you like first. Find what you like, and then from there on work from there. And I think that probably one of the best things you can do is speak to people, either personal trainer. You don't have to commit to a personal trainer. You don't have to commit to anybody. What you can do is have a conversation. You know, conversation doesn't hurt anybody. You know, have a conversation, see where the person is coming from, and you tend to find that usually when you have a conversation with somebody, things don't seem that bad. You know, personal trainers are not evil people that we make out to be. We're actually quite decent people who actually we just want to help. That's what we want to do. We just want to help everybody.
I think the thing that I'd like to talk a little bit is my journey, because I know you guys both know me as someone where being an athlete when I was young, playing sports was my whole identity. You know, plus the fact that I had some traumas and stuff when I was growing up, and I used sport as a way for everyone would see me as the guy who, you know, and I wasn't the best of the best athletes, but I was a very above average athlete and I could play a ton of sports. And then, you know, all of a sudden 20 years ago, you know, I'm 28 years old and I have to make a choice to go into the corporate world and start working. And I lose my identity as an athlete. And then I start to I don't know who I am anymore. So I use what I think people need to see from me to build this image, you know, of a guy who drives a nice car and wears nice suits. And all the time I don't know who I am. So, you know, coming back into being fit, you know, working with you in the last like 4 weeks, it's been a struggle, like with my identity. So, and I know you're working with me, so you understand that, but what about other guys out there like me? You know, like, I went into your gym because it looks inviting and because you know, you got this cute dog by the door, but it looks inviting, it looks warm, it doesn't look scary, but there's a lot of guys out there stepping across that boundary is like, and like as Mel was saying, like, I wanted to get in shape before I came to see you, which just doesn't make sense because I'm embarrassed that I don't fit in my sweatpants anymore, and I can't do push-ups, and it's scary. So a lot of people are going through what I'm going through, you know, and I know you can say because you are working with me, but what other kind of things of encouragement that would you tell people who are kind of in my shoes as someone trying to get back into it?
I think that one of the things people tend to think that is that they're alone in their situation. You know, they are, I'm alone and I feel like this. You're not alone. There's loads of people out there who feel the same. You know, you actually said you find our place inviting, like you just mentioned. And that's what we wanted to do. We wanted Temple of Strength to be inviting to the general public. But still, people find it intimidating to walk into Temple of Strength, you know, because what this is, the perception to see the big weight is like, oh my God, it's too scary. So it's a difficult one in the sense that when you think that you are alone and there's nobody else in that situation, you don't want to take that step. Okay, but I'll probably suggest that start off small. Again, start off small, break it down a little bit. You know, watch some YouTube videos of people exercising who are probably in a similar boat. You know, there's so much information out there what you can read up. I'm pretty sure there's people in the group that that are in a similar boat. They can have a conversation. You know, how do you feel about the exercises? You know, or somebody that's probably started the journey. Have a conversation with somebody that just started the journey. What made you start? How did you feel? You know, how do you feel now? You know, and take it from there. But I think that I would probably say the best thing to probably do for me personally is probably speak to either somebody who's in the fitness industry or in the fitness world that understands fitness, that can probably explain to you the steps you can take. Because we tend to think that, you know, if I want to go to the gym, I need to be fit first. You know, the way you were thinking that I want to be a little bit fitter before I can go to the gym, so get fit up, you know. And it doesn't have to be that way. You don't, you know, this is open for everybody. I've had people walk in here who never ever used the gym before. They've never been to the gym. You know, they've got to a stage where they're like, you know, I used to be naturally slim most of my life, and then I've actually, you know, age has caught up with me a little bit, and I'm finding that I'm not as fit as I used to be. My body's holding on fat to certain areas which never used to be. So I want to change. You know, they've never been in the gym before. It's really, really scary environment, but it's perception. That's all it is. It's perception that it's scary environment. The perception that, you know, everybody in the gym is fit. Because if everybody in the gym was fit, then there'll be nobody in the gym. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I was saying fair enough. I didn't realize I was muted. I think that's such an important piece. Is like there's such a role of fear in all of this, right? Fear of being judged, fear of being seen, fear of not being enough, and all these like standards of comparison. And it's really exciting that we are able to like break down these kind of, sorry, I'm getting my headphones, break down these kind of conditioned preconceptions for ourselves, and then society kind of adds on to all that stuff. But I wanted to ask you, what has been your experience around like bringing in a holistic approach? Have you noticed that like when somebody is looking to pay attention to their physical body, there's usually been a kind of emotional need behind it where, you know, I'm so stressed at work that I need a release from my body, or like my heart's been broken and spiritually I'm depleted. I need to connect with a different part of my being. Can you speak a bit to that experience or what you've kind of encountered along those lines?
Sure. So for our approach here, I see that training is not just a physical aspect, it's also a mental aspect of things. Okay. Everything starts in the brain. You know, this controls everything. So you have to be in the right place mentally to actually train. You have to be in the right place mentally to walk into a gym to start training. So it's all about what's happening in your mind. The holistic approach we take here is, this is probably one of the reasons why I wanted to have my own, you know, studio, because for me, it wasn't just about, I don't want people to come in, lift weights and leave, you know, I want people to come in, lift weights, but also have the ability to go and relax in a nice garden, you know, also be able to go into a yoga class, also be able to go into a meditation class, also be able to do what my business partner, Benita, she's, you know, she cooks, you know, so we've got Temple of Strength Food, which talks about nutrition side of everything, you know, what to eat. And also we break it down to even to stages where from ethnicity, you know, because when you're eating food, if your immune system has been fortified by certain food for up to a period of time, up to your 30s or 20s or 30s, for example, and then you come from a Caribbean, African background, wherever you may come from, and then you move to a completely different environment, then you start eating the way that environment is, the way people in that environment eat. It's going to have a completely different effect on your body. You know, I might eat bread, Nick might eat bread. Our reaction to the bread might be completely different. You know? So it's also making people understand and teaching people about the nutrition side of that thing, because also nutrition is what you put in your body also has an effect on your mind, because it's affecting your hormones, you know, what we eat, what we drink, you know, what we watch, you know, who we have around us. All of that has a massive impact. If you're constantly watching negativity, then your mind will be geared toward negativity. You know, if you surround yourself with positive people who are uplifting and talking to you and telling you can do this, you can achieve it, then you can achieve it. You know, and for me, my rule is simple. People that I have around me have to be positive people. You know, I want people that are uplifting. You know, I want to uplift people. I want to help people. And in order for me to do that, I also have to be in a mental place where I can do that. Being a personal trainer is not just being a personal trainer. I am a marriage counselor. I am a personal trainer. I am a nutritionist. I am a friend. I am an older brother. I am a younger brother. I'm literally everything rolled into one, because people trust you, people want your advice, and people are drawn to you because if you're a personal trainer, the one thing you tend to have is one, you have confidence in your ability to do your job and confidence that you can help somebody, right? And people can sense that, and people are drawn from it. So people are drawn to you naturally anyway. So you should be able to be in a position where you can actually help people. If I can't help people, I direct them in a different direction.
Yeah, confidence is such an important piece. Sorry, Nick, go on.
No, I'm just wondering about this because we talked a little bit about physical, we're talking about mental now, and I know you've got this, like, it's a temple where there's three sides, and I know in some places that is like mind, body, spirit. So you're also a yoga teacher too. Can you maybe tell us a little bit about the spirit? Do you have a spiritual aspect to your holistic approach?
I tend to meditate pretty much every evening. So that me is, I'm not religious, but I am spiritual. And for me, I think that taking care of your mind is probably the number one aspect. Yes, you need to take care of your body, but if your mind is gone, you can't take care of your body. You see what I mean? So the mind is so key. And I think that where we spend so much time consuming negativity, that we don't train our mind. What we do is we're like, oh, well, I need to go to the gym and work out and get physically fit, or I need to, study and get this job that pays more money, or I need to do this, I need to do that. But the one thing that we neglect is our mindset. This is why mental health is such a major factor in the UK, in America, in most countries in Europe. Because this is the most we are connected, right? The world is more connected than any other time, but this is the most people feel alone, right? Because you can pick up a phone and somebody's on the other end. You can drop an email, but we don't. We spend a lot of time in our phones, looking at our phones, but we're looking at other people, what other people are saying. Hey, look at me, this is my life, I'm great. But deep down, is it really great? Are you really happy with what you're doing? And I think that's what it comes down to. It's the hiding behind what people think they should be portraying, And for me, I think that from a spiritual point of view, is just take 5 minutes a day, focus on yourself, meditate, look internally, decide what is it, be grateful. We're not grateful anymore, Everybody just wants more and more and more and more, I want a bigger house, I want a bigger car, I want a better life, I want a better this. Well, somebody else is looking at you thinking that I want what you have, but you're not appreciating what you have, because you want what somebody else has. Take a minute, stop, look around, appreciate what you have, appreciate the people around you, and just be grateful. And then, that's literally, how I see it.
Yeah, I think it's so people can get, and I'm guilty and responsible of this, but get lost in the otherness of things, or the not enoughness of ourselves. And I think at the root of all of this, and what you said before, is that a personal trainer can be all the things, is because the way I see it, as you personal trainers, as this facilitator for this connection to yourself, to help somebody connect with themselves, which is really, whether it needs to start as a physical place or a spiritual place, sometimes we need guidance from somebody to say, hey, what's your body feeling like today? What's it saying? And Nick knows this as well. A lot of the workshops and the meditations I offer is all just where's your breath, right? That's the number one question. And also, can we give thanks to the fact that we were able to take a breath today, and that our bodies showed up for ourselves today in whatever ways? Because sometimes, like you were saying, we're always comparing that it should be, these shoulds we put on ourselves about what fitness even means, right? And I think that's a really, I guess what I'm asking is, maybe what, with all of this, what is a kind of updated, holistic definition of fitness, or the place that you work from? What is fitness like to you, and what can somebody expect fitness being like for them in relationship with you?
Fitness takes many forms. I have different people here. The good thing about my job is that I get to train people across a range of ages. You know, I've had 16-year-old kids to 70-year-old women, you know. Now, I don't expect the 70-year-old woman that's come to me, she's never ever been able to do a press up in her life, you know, and then we've got her to do 10 press ups. So that to her is fitness.
Yeah.
Somebody that does 10 press ups will probably look at it and think, well, that's easy, you know. But from where she was, from the starting point to where she got to, her fitness improved, right? For somebody who can only walk 20 minutes because they've got a bad knee, or you know, they've had problems with muscular problems, but then they strengthen the legs and then they can walk an hour. That's fitness. Fitness is personal. Fitness is not a general thing for everybody. There's different level of fitness. You know, you can be yoga fit, you can be cardio fit, you can be weight fit. You know, you can be different aspects. So from where I come from, I see fitness as a big bubble that contains a lot of different aspects of it. You know, the physical, the mental. You can be mentally fit. You know, it's somebody that, you know, I've seen a situation where there's a guy in the ring, he's having a fight with somebody, you know, it's a competition fight, a martial art fight, and he's absolutely the underdog. You know, he doesn't have the same strength, you know, but he has got heart, and he believes in his mental strength. He's like, I know that this guy is not going to beat me today,
right?
And he actually wins because he just believes that he's actually going to win, and that's mental fitness. You know, he wasn't the strongest, he wasn't the fittest, but he had heart because he believed in himself, and I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. yeah. I mean, that's such an important piece that that's not in the fitness culture sometimes, which is what makes people afraid to go to a gym or whatever, is because the heart piece, the heart work is not as considered as important or cool or whatever fit as the other aspects. Yeah. Sorry, Nick, go on.
No, it's funny. It's funny that, you know, the heart pieces to me is also like showing some vulnerability. In terms of like saying, I don't know, or I'm scared. Yeah. And I think for me, that's kind of my biggest hurdle, but the best one to get over is I'm scared to go in there. I'm going to show vulnerability. I'm going to tell Jayson my darkest stuff. But that's how the relationship is formed, you know, and that's the thing that if I were to suggest to anybody listening to this, it's just to go and show some vulnerability to someone and be honest with them. And then, you know, some beautiful things can happen. And so I think we're, you know, like with the last 10 minutes we have, I'd like to kind of go into your experience over the last 3 or 4 months, and how people in March and April, it was like this kind of opportunity for everyone to kind of go, oh, I can just breathe a little bit. I don't have to go into work. I don't have to get back into that rat race, and I can start concentrating on myself. So there was an amazing buzz going in the first 3 or 4 weeks around being physical, like looking after self. And I found, Jayson, is that I'm getting, as a lockdown kind of, it gets unlocked, people are going back to the old mindset of like, oh, I got to get this and I got to get that. How are you kind of making sure that people can kind of remember, you know, what it was like 3 or 4 months ago, and try to use that into kind of moving into the future of a place of health and well-being?
I think from my point is that lockdown this is unprecedented. We've never had anything like this before. You know, you've taken a whole country and said, stay at home, you know, and that's the message. Stay at home, stay at home, stay at home, stay at home. And then you're like, oh, you can go out now. That is so scary to some people, you know. Yep. You told me not to go out there because it's a scary, dangerous world. Now you're telling me I can go out there and I'm trying to be normal, you know. It's very, very confusing. And I think that what you had during lockdown is that you had people had a bit more time to think about themselves, their lives, who's in their life, what they're doing, and what we talked about before when people are saying, hey, look at my life, this is where I'm leaving, I'm having a good time. All that pretend was over because everybody was on lockdown. You couldn't pretend that you're out in the bar having a good time with 15, 20 people, So you have to be at home and think about what you're doing, where your life is going, where you want your life. And from a fitness point of view, what I find is we've had a lot more questions in terms of people's mental health, during lockdown, what we've had. We've had a lot of people talking about, I want to train because I've been locked down so long. So it's not, let me just go back a minute. Before lockdown, I used to get people coming and talk to me about aesthetically looking good. I want to train because I want to look good, I want to feel good. Now I'm getting people saying to me, I want to train because I want to just de-stress.
Right.
I want to get my mind right. So it's more about the mental aspect. It's almost the lockdown triggers something in people's mind, and it's I also think it could be just the fact that you're bombarded with so much information you're having it's very negative, And I know we understand what it's done, but when you're constantly saying these people have died, these people are gonna die, this country's on lockdown, the economy is down the drain, everything is negative. There is nothing positive about it. So for me, I take exercise. I'm like, look, come to Temple Strength. For that hour, I guarantee you will not think about lockdown.
Yeah.
For that hour, this is your sanctuary. You're here. I want you to come in, work hard, but I want you to have fun. I want you to walk out of here and feel, you know what? I started my day brilliantly, or I'm ending my day brilliantly, or I went in for an hour and I completely forgot about my problems, nothing mattered. All that mattered was just me, the treadmill, the weights, the boxing gloves, the meditation, whatever it may be. It's just you, me, that hour, and nothing else. Okay? And that to me is the joy of temporary strength, right? If I can make you forget about your problem for an hour and feel good about yourself when you leave here, that makes me feel good about myself, that makes me feel like I've helped you, and I think that, and another thing is as well is that we have lovely clients, and that's one thing I think with my partner, we have amazing clients, people that come here, we've had people that have never been to the gym before and they've come here, and we want it to be like a family. Most of my clients who come in start to know each other. They start talking to each other. They have conversations. They start. We go out. We have fun. So it becomes a bit more of a bit of a Temple Strength community, and that's what we want.
Community. Yeah.
That's the whole that's the whole antidote, I would say, to this lockdown kind of anxiety, because I'm really living it in real time. This oh, now I can go cut my hair, or now I can go take a walk without a mask. What? Although no masks, that's not true. We need masks. But anyway, it seems like building community in this very new way is what's going to help to help cushion us and support us through all of this. And I think I also want to say Nick, I'm going to use you as an example, but I can use myself too with Taekwondo. I grew up with martial arts, which was such a way for me to deal with so much kind of stuff that was hard, and it gave me focus and purpose. And then I went off, so I didn't keep it, but now I feel that call to go back. So the same with Nick, you stopping your exercise and then this call again to take care of yourself. It's almost like we have this opportunity to get to know ourselves in new ways, in old new ways. So Nick as the athlete, Mel as the black belt, although the way we kind of approach at that time was very specific, now we get to be reintroduced to our bodies and our fitness, our health, our experience in such a new way, which I think everyone can be invited to do now in this new world, right? Is get to know yourself, reintroduce yourself to yourself. And it seems like what you've created, this community, is such a beautiful opportunity for people to get to do that. It's not a question. I'm just making a comment and an observation. That's all. It's just a thought.
I think that, and I just like just to have you elaborate just a little bit more about the community, because I know that, you know, for me, that's for going there for the 3.5 weeks now, I think 4 weeks, it is a sense of community. And I think that that's what, you know, like we're looking at getting physically fit, building our immune systems, you know, this is a new world, but also like we live in an area. And I think, you know, and this is the essence of Retribe, is that we start to learn what our locality is like. And I think that's, you know, being Temple of Strength where it is, it's like that kind of like, right, could be the core of a community around here. And I think that again is so important. One thing I like, as we're kind of running out of time though, can you, I like following your Instagram, and you've got this new toy, the Max 360.
Yeah.
What is that about?
So a Max 360 is just basically sort of like a standing standing human, for example. So my background is martial arts. So my background is mixed martial arts. I did a lot of Muay Thai. I lived in Thailand for 6 months, so I studied that there. So I love boxing, Thai boxing, kickboxing, and some of my clients, predominantly female, I must say, love beating the hell out of my Max 360. You know?
Yeah.
You know, so most of my female clients I've said that enjoy boxing, and me personally, the way I see it is that in order to teach people, I have to practice what I preach. You know, I cannot teach you something that I don't understand myself. You know,
Right.
in order to teach you how to kick, I need to show you the mechanics, because people think, oh, kicking is just lifting a leg and flicking. It's not. There's a lot more mechanics to it. Just like going to the gym is not just about lifting weights. There's also a technique to it. You know, so the Max 360 is just a great way for me to get some of my clients to come in that I've never ever trained before. Put some gloves on them. I go nuts. You know, completely just let yourself go. Punch the living daylight out of that bag. Kick it, and it's so freeing, you know, to just have somebody go, "Wah!" You know, and just let some stress out, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really it's a great way of just, you know, anger, negativity, bad day, whatever it is, let it out of the house, you know.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
that's what, and it works for me as well. You know, I might have a day where things are not going as I wanted to go. I'll come in here and I'll just literally kick the bag for 15 minutes, and I feel great. You know, I've 15 minutes, I've forgotten all about my issue. So yeah, it's just an additional stuff the Temple of Strength to use to help whoever's coming in.
I will say though, in my early practices, of therapy, in the therapy room, I would have people hit a punching bag that I brought from home, because I also bought my own punching bag, because that's like the most beautiful way. And what is more therapeutic than hitting something without the violence and without the consequences? It's just a release. Yeah, it's awesome.
And when you work out at Temple of Strength, folks, you also get that. So you get rewards from Temple. That was me this morning.
Yay, we're getting the live shot.
Yeah. Where's Temple?
I'll bring Mago into the space when I visit.
Yeah. Where's Temple?
Wait, is the dog's name Temple?
Yeah. It's a little. There you go.
Oh
Hello.
my! Yes.
She's the owner of the business.
Oh, amazing.
So this is Temple. And Temple
So sweet. So sweet.
Again, Temple. Thank you for giving me encouragement this morning.
No
And the reward. Listen, Jayson, we've come to the end of our time. So can you, do you want to just kind of give anybody details on how they can get in touch with you, either through Instagram or website?
Yeah. So we're on Instagram, Temple Strength Studios. You can find us on there. Or if you want to email us, is Temple of Strength, info@templeofstrengthstudios.com. But just Temple of Strength Dogs, you can find it.
Yeah.
You know. Or
yeah, I'll put the links in the Facebook page. But listen, Jayson, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm looking forward to tomorrow morning. I love it. I love it. I love what you're doing for me. I'm so grateful.
No,
and if anyone's out there that is just a little bit scared of getting back into shape, then get in touch with these guys, because they're absolutely beautiful. They're kind. They're yet firm. And I think that's exactly what guys like me need in trying to get back into this space. So I'm so grateful. Jayson, thank you for joining us.
I'll just add something quickly on that. Anybody that's watching, or anybody that's maybe feeling a bit anxious, they just want to ask some questions, or they just want to know how do I get back into the fitness world, or anything at all, any help, this is literally no obligation. Drop me an email or drop me a call. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jayson.
No problem.
And thank you. What's on at Elephant and Castle Facebook page. Don't forget, this Thursday, Mel is going to be doing part 3 of Remembering and Recentering workshop. So we hope you can join us then. Thanks everyone for joining us. And see you later.
Take care.